Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dark Souls Remastered, where we will continue our chill playthrough. To catch you up on a few things, it's been a small absence. Been dealing with a few home issues, broken air conditioner, and obviously the 4th of July extravagance and constant noise. So to cut down on a lot of that, I kind of put a small hold on the gameplay. But we're going to be back at it. So we last left off with me losing my microphone and not getting to give you a lot of exposition that occurred. So to give you a small catch up, we dealt with all of the depths. We got a large ember that we'll take back to the blacksmith so we can upgrade our weapons further if we so choose, or our armor and shields. I did some grinding after we defeated the boss here at the depths on the slimes just outside the bonfire, to get some green titanite shards so I can go and upgrade my rapier the direction I would like. Now, today's game plan is to go through Blighttown. Now, we're not going to go the traditional way, just to cut down on a lot of the griefing that occurs, and we're not really concerned on what goes on the upper side anyways. If you would like to see that kind of stuff, there are several other creators out there that have done the long playthrough of the Blighttown area, and perhaps even later down the road during our chill playthrough, we'll even pay a little visit just to maybe grab the ninja armor or something. We'll see. But for now, we're going to head back to Firelink Shrine. We're going to upgrade our rapier to a magic rapier with the green titanite shards that we acquired from these slimes. So to prove to you what I did, there's our 10. And as you can tell by the soul count from our last episode, it took a great deal of farming to get those 10. So let's get to it, shall we? Excuse me. Hopefully you all had a very safe and enjoyable 4th of July for all those of you who do celebrate American independence. And for those of you who don't, well, I still hope you had a great summertime and continue it into the upcoming months. So these are all of the slimes that we attacked. They were all glued to the ceiling, but we're not going to bother with them for now. Just kind of point them out for you. We take our little pathway here that leads us back up to the top so we can make our way out of the depths. Now, this location will seem slightly familiar to you all because this is where we fought the butchers, the individuals with the sacks on their head, and where we found the pyromancer. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get to give you that exposition, but that's what this gentleman was back here. He was the pyromancer trainer, and he is now at Firelink Shrine waiting for us. And the individual that dropped down here was called the Butcher. So, fortunately, there are some enemies in this game that don't respawn. So it's kind of a nice and welcome reprieve with certain enemies. Bonk, bonk. And to start blasting. Now, I'm primarily just using the magic on the individuals with the torches because it can be pretty damaging. Especially when you're a dork like me and you need to shake off some rust. Because it's been a few weeks. I find I've been able to knock out a lot of power washing simulator for Naptime games, my Naptime game series, for since it is a series that I do not talk in whatsoever. It is just pure gratifying videos of power washing and cleaning. So if you ever need to go to sleep, it is always a great option through my channel. And I'll continue posting there. We'll eventually get through um, Power Washing Simulator, and we'll move into other games too. But my channel is fairly new, so bear with me as time moves on. Hopefully I'll be able to continue providing this content for y'all, so you can have that nice comfort place. And if you're looking to just hang with some friends, check out my Fun with Friends series. You get to hear a far more unrestricted version of myself and my friends. We all hang out and play silly games and be silly and kind of beat each other up for the lulz. So this here is the shortcut that we saw for the gate that we saw at the very beginning of the game back in episode 1. This is the undead bird, and this is that one little rat that we killed at the very, very, very beginning. Our very first mouse. And now we are back at the good old Fireleaf Shrine. Home, craft home, as Tom Hanks once said. Kind of dating myself with that movie, but that's okay. Alright. So there's our magic trainer that we once upon a time saw, and we are definitely going to buy some items that he has.
I regret meeting you under such compromising circumstances. At least we both made it back unscathed. Incidentally, would you care to learn any sorceries? You're clearly talented, and besides, I owe you. Of course, we will require some materials, but I'm happy to teach you some elementary spells. Are you interested?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Splendid. Very well. I am pleased to have a chance to give something back. Well then, let's get started straight away.
Now we can get a serious arsenal to our repertoire. So we're going to burn a lot of these extra souls that we've acquired to just kind of amp ourselves up. But the most important thing, we want these rings, specifically the Bellowing Dragon Crest ring. It's going to significantly up our damage for magic.
Have you heard of Big Hat Logan? Master Logan is a great sorcerer and my teacher. Both of us came to this land as undead. But one day, he departed, leaving only a note. I suppose he wished to keep me out of harm's way. But where does that leave me? I have dedicated myself to sorcery. But Master Logan could find no use for me.
Oh, my dear Watson. It's because he cared for you.
All right. That'll do it. That should help you on your journey. May we meet again.
Indeed. May we meet again. Alright, so we're going to have ourselves a little sit. And we're going to attune our magic. We're going to definitely keep our soul arrows going. Upgrade to great soul arrows. And attach ourselves the great heavy soul arrow. Takes a little longer to use, but it hits significantly harder, and it is well worth it. So once we upgrade our weapon, we will even consider coming back and putting some attunement points.
You made it out.
See if we can't get more.
I made it out safely too. I have my romantic great swan, so I can use my with a bit of care. Oh yeah. By the way, I can share my spells with you. I think you have a knack for it. All you need are the materials. I'd be pleased to help you. Unless you find the magic's unsavory.
So you have to pay attention to the way he says this. This is one of the few and only individuals that you're going to say no to.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm sure that they'll be of some use, some assistance. Here, first take this.
Hooray!
A flame from the Great Swamp. Now you're a fully fledged pyromancer. Why, let's get started right now.
So pyromancers have some pretty handy tools of the trade, but the nice thing about them is the only souls you really end up using is to modify your equipment. And this is how you would actually increase its damage instead of going through intelligence or other things like you would as a mage.
Be safe, man.
Alright, last but not least, let's attach our bellowing dragon crest ring. So now we are effectively ready to really hammer some damage with this magic. I think I have... Yeah, no, that's what I thought. I was checking to see if we had a Firekeeper soul in our repertoire. Not that we really need it, because we have so little health. But we have a lot of spells that are in our possession. So we're doing pretty good there. Alright, so we've made our way back to the New Londo ruins so we can stop by and talk to our Smith of Venheim, who will hopefully take us to our magic weapon.
Hey, hang on. Is that an ember? Oh, I'm sorry. We at Venheim don't deal in shoddy embers like that. Perhaps she's trying old Smith out in the country.
And he's referencing our big buff chest Andre over at the church. So let us modify our rapier to a magic rapier. And then we're going to reinforce that weapon and make it even more beneficial to our build. All the way to level 5. And bam. Alright. Oh yes, so we are done with our spider shield. No, we're not done with the spider shield. Oh yeah, we are. Yes, we're done with our spider shield. So we're away from the toxic, and we're not going to go through the upper area. So, go ahead and repair our equipment anyways, and that's all, we're good there. And yeah, alright.
Goodbye then.
Okay, go ahead and swap our shield back out to the crest magic shield to kind of adjust our fit a little, make us look a little bit more magic-y, you know, looks all fancy like, if you will. And then we're gonna make our way back to the original. Ooh, I almost forgot. I promised you guys a dragon kill. Time to go get ourselves some easy souls. I'm kind of excited for this. So we're definitely gonna see a massive increase in damage from once we started. And we'll even get a few little extra bits and bobs to help us on our way. So if you remember me talking originally, these are the traps that activate. So we're gonna run in, run out, and dodge. Haha. And then, like shooting fish in a barrel. Oh yeah, that's some damage. That's a lot of damage. And voila. Super easy. And we get a dragon scale for it. And a crest shield. And Istora's straight sword. So now we have a weapon that will help us in the crypts. So we're effectively ready to even make our way down there. But not yet. I'd rather take on Blighttown and get that squared away first. So, onwards we roll. Give ourselves a quick little time check to see how we're doing. Perfect. Good, good, good. Alright, so we've made it back to our original little tubbo lads. And now our sword hits nice and hard like we really wanted it to. So in the event that you don't remember what our sword was doing prior to the magic upgrade, we were only parrying these guys for about 350 damage. And now, we can almost do 900. You can almost one-shot these guys. Oh, hold on. Alright. So we're going to make our way down to a quick little bonfire. We're going to have ourselves a nice sit, level up a bit, and go from there. We'll go take on the area boss. That's the key to New Londo Ruins. That is normally what you would get to find your way out that direction, rather than doing the cheese ball way with my master key, kind of just avoiding it altogether. Alright, there's that. Gonna slide down here. Gonna slide down this one. Gonna take care of him before he poisons us. Oh. Not good. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. I forgot we swapped shields. Silly me. That's okay. We'll put that shield back on where it belongs and not be silly like that again. And, it might not be a bad idea to not be entirely too silly and actually wear as my good buddy Guts would say, the rusted iron ring. But yeah, that way we'll be able to move a little quicker and easier through the swamp and not get caught up. We should probably increase our poison resistance too while I'm at it. So we'll swap over to some leather, the black leather. We'll be a little slower, but at least we'll have some more poison resistance in case I happen to miss a parry or a block. Give ourselves a quick little drinky drink to top ourselves off, and dive on in. Round 2, fight. Now, something cool that not a lot of people actually know that you can do as a mage user is, much like the regular attacks, when you parry, if you have a fast enough spell, you can still parry, but now hit even harder. So, you saw 521 there, so we'll let him recover to show you how much the difference is. He gained almost 200 damage. Not many people know that you were able to do that. Ooh boy. I remembered you little mosquitoes this time. back up here and grab our things. Alright. Okay. So, there is a small item that we're definitely going to want from over here. Unfortunately, we have to deal with some blow dart guys. There we go. While I'm at this, I should probably equip that to me just in case. It's mighty dark. I might have to adjust some settings. No, not network settings. We want brightness. Oh. Wow, it's strangely dark. Well, hopefully it's not unbearably dark on the recording for you guys, and you can kind of see what's going on a little. Bonk. Alright. Of course, the roof. So the item we want is right there. That is a firekeeper soul. I'm sorry, what? There we go. There we go. We'll give ourselves a nice, good, solid advantage on all of that. Go ahead and hop on down. Grab our firekeeper soul and take a swig. We should only have one dog left to deal with, which will be excellent and a lot easier than it could have been. Because fighting all these dogs at once is very overwhelming, very quick. Worst part about them is they breathe fire, and they will absolutely tear you apart if you're not careful. Alright, so now that all these poison guys are done, we can safely cross that bridge and go get an armor set that we really, really want. Don't get me wrong, I like my pretty dress. But ultimately, we're looking for something a little more traditional to the mage, if you will. And plus, we can get a spell out of this. And now we have our Mark of the Sealer. And a new catalyst. If we so choose. So it's less poison resistance, but it's okay. We're looking for the overall defense and curse resistance. So this is a nice, very nice and solid all-around armor. It's not good in any one particular area, but it's light and can handle a little bit of everything. It'll get you through a lot of your situations. Alright, now for the tricky part. We're gonna roll onto this platform here. Bum-ba-dum. We're gonna ride it all the way down. Then, we're gonna hop off here. And you go down this ladder. Take care of this little bug friend here. And we're gonna go left for our bonfire. Dun da da, dun da da. So ta-da! We have our bonfire. Gonna have ourselves a nice little sit. We're gonna reverse our hop. And best part, we're gonna even level up our attunement. So let's crank this beast up and get ourselves some more spells. So going to 5 there at 19, and I'm not a big fan of that number, but I want to have a little bit more hard-hitting spells. So take that. We got 1 additional spell slot, so we'll attune that spell as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to crank up our number of basic soul arrows. So lots and lots. And oh, almost forgot. Last but not least, we're going to kindle our bonfire as well. So now we can get 10 from here. All right. So we're just going to make our way up this little pathway here. And we're going to... I wouldn't say it's amazing, but we're definitely going to take this dragon scale. It has its uses. In fact, dragon scales are meant to upgrade dragon weapons, which I believe, yes indeed, I have 2 of them. Let's get on with it, shall we? We're gonna come out here, we're gonna deal with a quick NPC invader, just like we did in the depths. Should be Maneater Mildred. And we're gonna go take care of everybody's favorite spider babe. There she is. And there she goes. Very well, darling. It was an honor. So get our humanity and her butcher knife. Let's move on. Now this is all poison here, so we're definitely going to want to swap over to our Poison Blossom, and now that our weapon is enchanted, we can no longer use that lightning. So, let's boogie. Grab these little shards here. So you definitely want to keep wide on this area, because if you cut in too close, you'll upset all of them big fellas there, and they start hurtling rocks at you. Not fun. Not fun at all, especially when you don't have a lot of health like I do. We're gonna eat our little moss. Dun dun. And we're gonna step in. Now, these guys are peaceful for now. I wouldn't recommend ever eliminating them because of the sheer factor of what they carry. They typically have a large group of parasites in them, and they can mess you up if you're not prepared. And, best of all, we don't have to fight Kellogg alone. Sorry, Quelaag alone. Old Dark Souls joke. But because we beat Maneater Mildred, she's willing to help us in the fight. So we're going to do that. Not that we need it or anything. But why not have some fun, right? Alright. Let us traverse the light for our boss fight. Let's do this. We're gonna let Maneater Mildred sit there and tank. Because why not? Be nice and easy. Whatever you think you know. And done. Like I said, magic will make light work with bosses, but can make the game a lot more difficult if that's all you rely on. Alright, now that we're done with all of this, gonna ring ourselves the second bell. Now with that, we can officially enter Sen's Fortress. Dun da da! Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and head down these stairs real quick. And, oh lovely, the magic orange sign for this wall still exists, so we don't even have to look hard. Give that little wall a bump, it'll go away, and this fella here, we're gonna convince, and kinda lie to, that we are a friend.
Oh dear, what have we here? Are you a new servant?
Why, yes, my humble man, I am.
But you have no eggs. Ah, no matter. Go along and have audience with our fair lady. I pray that you will mind your manners.
Yes, sir, I will absolutely do so. Now, this is Quelana, Quelag's sister. She is blind and dying. She is honestly one of the saddest stories in all of Dark Souls, and particularly my favorite. She absorbed all of the miasma and blight from Nito to save all of her people. People like them. All the denizens of Blighttown were saved by Quelana at the cost of her life. And the way for her to continue living is to feed her humanity and being taken care of by her sister, who we just eliminated, essentially giving this young lady a death sentence. And I forgot to mention, she's mute. Unless you have a magic ring that'll allow you to talk to her telepathically. But she is a firekeeper, so we're going to use our soul to upgrade our flask. And because she cannot speak, we're just going to call it there and rest. With 31,000 souls, dump some more points into some magic damage. We're almost to our soft cap of level 50. And then we can just focus on our attunement for a while. Woot woot. But for right now, we're going to lighten our load significantly. Go to the grass crest shield because of what we are about to do. Which is, well, we are going to take on the ceaseless discharge, which sounds horrifying. So I apologize for the undies, but we need to be quick. Free little bonfire here, ever needed. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna run past all these fellas here. There's a couple of them that are actually hostile to you, so be careful. Those are the ones that will actually give you the parasite that allows you to talk to the gentleman we just spoke to earlier and be more friendly, and he'll offer you some spells. Well, pyromancies. Shouldn't say spells, they're pyromancies. But anyway. Now, with the ceaseless discharge, there is a way to fight them. It's very, very difficult. But honestly, 99% of the Dark Souls community fights them with what's called the cheese. So, that is what we're going to do here. The best part is, though we have the Crimson set, there is another set that we can get our hands on here in just a moment that is comparable. Some people like that set more. Some people prefer the Crimson set. I myself am a fan of this set that we're about to acquire. So say hello to the ceaseless discharge. It's very confusing that he's not attacking, isn't it? No, it is not a glitch. This is how it goes. See, the ceaseless discharge is a brother. A brother to a young girl who died long ago. And he only becomes hostile when you disturb her remains. So, we're going to grab it, and we're going to run back to the door. But remember, you're going to need to hold short just as you reach him, because if you continue through, he's going to get you with an attack. You'll see. So here we go. Boss fight begins. Hold up this rock here, and book it! Meow. Now, the biggest trick with stamina is do not let your stamina fully be consumed. Because if you do, it takes longer for your stamina bar to recharge. Alright, we are significantly cutting that down by having the grass crest shield at our disposal. So that is definitely helping us. I'm gonna keep running all the way down. And then we're gonna stop, turn around, and hold up our shield. But don't stand right against the front door, because you'll take a fire damage from underneath. Land. And then we're just gonna poke his little hand. Ta-da! Easy boss fight. And unfortunately, he falls to his doom. And all he was trying to do was protect what was left of his sister. And now that he is gone, lava is no longer being constantly produced, and now we can travel in that area once we're ready. But for now, I'm putting on my gold-hemmed cloak. So, like I said, there's not a whole lot going for this thing, in my opinion, for differences. See, it is weaker in a lot of aspects. Great poison resistance, don't get me wrong. That's very but there's no curse resistance. In my opinion, that is far better uh, in later games and in certain areas. But I'm not going there in this playthrough. This is supposed to be a chilled playthrough, and I don't feel like banging my head against a wall. So, we're gonna rock the Goldham series. Plus, I love how it looks on the female figure. Just fantastic. It really is just a good look. So, let us go. We're heading back to Firelink Shrine. And then we're gonna make our way up to Andre and hold there and call it a day ourselves. Because we are already at just about 45 minutes of this recording, and we're gonna try pretty hard to keep these, 1 hour long videos, or relatively close. So we can go ahead and swap off our crest shield now. Or swap our grass crest shield, I'm sorry. There we go. Go back to our original. And while we are here, we'll even throw some more souls into our build. Alright, and that is the last of them. Let's go ahead and use these souls up. So we can get another 2-minute slot out of this. Not quite. But I think for now it's a good place to put it. So we're going to crank that to 22. So we'll be ready to have our 6th spell slot here soon. Because Sen's Fortress has got quite a deal of stuff for us to obtain. And I'm going to tell you now that Sen's Fortress, there is a possibility it might be a 2-parter just because of how much that's there. We'll see. I plan on doing a full clear there just because there is a great deal of souls to be obtained and a lot of cool little pieces of gear and lore to find, in my opinion. One of which I have to say has got to be the Black Iron, the man of Black Iron. I'm drawing a blank at his name currently, but his story, when you really break it down and think about what he went through and who he is, it is truly astonishing. So we got a nice hefty poison resistance, so it'll be a little easier for us to traverse the swamp. We have our rusted iron ring. Thanks, Guts. I'll never forget that. But we're going to make our way through and head on back up to Firelink Shrine. And yes, I know that you can see there's some items out in the distance, but I want to keep some of the things up to the imagination or surprise. for those of you who have never experienced this game, you might find yourself wanting to explore more. So I don't want to rob every last piece of surprise, which is why I'm not going to try and do a whole lot of the game. Like, I'm doing the majority of it, but I want to keep some of the things up to your own wonder. So I'm not going to do a big exploration of the Darkroot Forest. We did the garden, but the forest we're going to keep pretty vague and just go straight through. The Sen's Fortress, I'll do a lot of that one. I love Sen's Fortress. And it can be a lot for people to take on their first time. Yeah, it's going to be along those lines for the rest of the playthrough. We're definitely not going to touch the DLC because of the sheer factor that the DLC, in my opinion, is just so wonderful that I would never want to rob that from anybody experiencing that on their own. The story that is told through the DLC area is just the bee's knees. I love it. And plus, emotionally, I don't think I could handle the interaction with one of the bosses if we did do the DLC. It upsets me too much. Because at the end of the day, I'm kind of a pansy when it comes to animals. They really do reach a soft spot for me. So, because we sat at the bonfire, all our chunky butts here have respawned as well, so we're going to have to make our way through them as well. Luckily, we are beasts now, and we can one-shot these fellas because of those few extra magic damage points that we incorporated into our weapon. Dun da da! Can't touch this. Right. Let's go. I almost forgot. We can swap back to some other ring if we so choose, which I'm thinking is going to be the wolf ring. Well, I lied. It's going to be the dust crown ring, because we want those extra spells. Man, look at that spell count. 130 soul arrows. Oofda. We're ready for combat. Alright, we are almost home. Alright. Welcome back to Fireling Shrine. Unfortunately, we have suffered ourselves a loss. Our Firekeeper has been slain. So now, we have a black eye orb, which will help us find the murderer of the Firekeeper, where we will get to be a vengeful spirit. In time, when we find the right location, the orb will begin to vibrate and allow us to avenge her. So, we will eventually get to be justice seekers. This is a lot lighter. Let's see here. What is the curse resistance? That's what I thought. I'll stick to it. I'll stick to the gold hand here. I just love having what looks like a choker. Just super cute in my opinion. And because our firekeeper is gone, so is our bonfire.
Did you ring the second bell? That is incredible, I must say. But now we have a new problem. It's noisy, it snores, and its breath is lethal. This is no laughing matter, I tell you.
He is talking about one of my favorite characters in the game, Sir Patrick Stewart, aka Frabbed.
Ah, hello. Was it you who rang the bell of awakening? I am the primordial serpent, King Seeker Frabbed, close friend of the great Lord Gwyn, chosen undead, who has rung the bell of awakening. I wish to elucidate your fate. Do you seek such enlightenment?
Only a fool would deny education.
Very well. Then I am pleased to share. Chosen undead, your fate is to succeed the great Lord Gwyn, so that you may link the fire, cast away the dark, and undo the curse of the undead. To this end, you must visit Anor Londo and acquire the Lord Vessel.
Aye, aye, Captain. I make that joke because he was Captain Picard. For all you younger individuals who don't know what Star Trek is. But anyway, Frabbed has a great concept behind him.
Pleased to see you well.
And he
Is it
will
something
consume things and give you souls for them. So in this case, we're going to give him the old Eye of Death. We're going to give him these throwing knives, the gun pies for 200 each, gold pie resins, which we have no use for anymore. And we're not going to use any of the boss souls, so we are going to give up the boss souls as well. We're not going to do anything with sunlight metals because we're not doing a holy build, so we'll get rid of that as well. Ah, yes, the blue titanite chunk. We are definitely going to need that. Let's see here, we can give away armor and additional items that we're not going to use, but that, honestly, we're just going to leave it at that. We've got a pretty good run on it.
Farewell, chosen undead.
I remain here and await thee. So, we're gonna make our way up to Andre.
Hello there. I am Petrus of Thurland. Have you business with us? If not, I'd prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
Well, I will keep my distance because I'll leave you guys to figure this one out. Now, I know I have died quite a few times throughout this playthrough, but honestly, it's because I've chosen a rather difficult way to play and handicapped myself quite severely by reducing my armor value and health, making it far more whiff punishing, if you will. So, when you guys go to play, I would recommend, especially if it's your first time playing this, I would highly recommend doing a standard warrior build with medium or heavy armor, and perhaps just a long sword and a good solid shield. So you'll get all the benefits of my melee build with none of the disadvantages of my lacking armor and speed. So my common recommendation for starting this game is honestly the standard warrior. Not the knight, but the actual warrior utilizing the hardened leather armor. He starts with the heater shield and the longsword. And honestly, you can beat the entire game with just those items. It's quite impressive. But before we sit down, we're going to talk to Andre and give him that large ember we found in the depths. So here's our big old buff man cake.
Why, that's a fine ember you have there. I could smith some mighty weapons with one of those. Why not lend it to me?
Absolutely give him the large ember.
Magnificent. You won't be disappointed. I can hardly wait to get started.
Alright, so now he has access to his divine and his large, which means the large ember will allow him to go from the level 5 smithing that he could give you to now 6 up to 10. Super handy. Do a quick repair of our stuff. And then last but not least, nope, don't have any more twinkling titanite, but that's okay. What we're going to start putting it towards is our grass crest shield now that we have extra cash. So we got 7 more we can buy. Go back and reinforce our weapon, which is the grass crest shield. And voila, now we're going to modify it, which we have the capability to go to 6. And we're going to crank it all the way to 10. Oh, reinforce weapon. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Bam, look at that. All
Get
right.
yourself killed. Neither of us want to see you go hollow.
Thanks, Andre. You're the best. Alright. So, look at that. We've even evened out our stability with this big old one. The best part is, we can still upgrade this thing further once we find a very specific ember later down the road. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time we say farewell. Thank you for joining me as always on this adventure and chill playthrough. Hopefully you guys are finding this as entertaining as I am. And hopefully one day, maybe I'll reach that 500 subscriber limit. And I'll be able to do this a little bit more consistently for y'all. But for now, thanks again for joining me. Have a wonderful night. And be safe.